Today on BHL Conversations, we have the one, the only, Michellé Michaels. Let's get the show started.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live Conversations.
My daddy Alabama, mama Louisiana.
You mix that Negro with that wah. Hey! What's up, Black Hollywood Alive as BHL Onliners. It is your best friend in your head, of course, Shar Jossell at Shar Says So. And today I have a very special guest live in studio with me, my good sis, Michellé.
Hey girl, hey.
How you doing, Michellé?
I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy that I have you here because, you know, this was very we did this in 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, very straight to the point.
Yes, it was very straight to the point. So, Michellé, you are a performer who has buzz around you because of one thing. Can you tell everybody what that is?
Well, it happens to be my remake of Beyonce's Lemonade.
Yes.
I redid 4 songs.
Okay.
From her latest album, and it has literally taken off.
It's got
everywhere.
all the buzz. It's all the rave. As a matter of fact,
It's crazy.
Before we further the conversation, I want to throw to a little clip here so we can check it out.
I'm telling these tears go and fall away, oh, may the last one burn into flames. Freedom, I can't move.
You look just like her.
You think so?
Just like her in the visual. It's amazing. Okay, so you shot this. I took notes before interviewing you because what a lot of you all may or may not know out there is Michellé and I not only know each other, but we've worked together in the past on different panels. Shout out to Kiss and Tell.
Kiss and Tell.
But
Hey,
we've worked
Jace.
together. So this is something that came as a surprise to me. I knew that you were doing something along the lines of a Lemonade. But tell us how it all came to be, especially in 16 hours. Y'all, she shot this in 16 hours.
Well, a little backstory, and you know the backstory because
Yes.
I actually asked you to be a part of my first video that I was trying to get done, just because I was so inspired by Formation. I wanted to do that, but speak to trans lives matters, well, Black trans lives matters. And it didn't happen for a lot of reasons. I'm sure we'll get into that a little later, so I won't go into it just now. But then I'm like, okay, I still have to do something. I got to keep pushing forward, you know? And once Lemonade came out, I was just completely moved by everything that it was. So I'm like, okay, well, let's do Lemonade.
It's interesting that you brought that up because that's the perfect segue into my next question because I was going to ask you, because I know how Lemonade really resonated with me being in that moment and why, we all talked about this on social media, April, May, then the Formation World Tour. So how did Lemonade, in what ways did Beyonce's Lemonade resonate with you? What really stood out to you? What did you most identify with? I don't know, that's a loaded question.
It is very, but I'm going to say that I was just completely just moved by the whole thing. Literally, I feel like everyone, if you are a human being and you live on this earth, you've been through Lemonade, you know what I mean? From the poetry to the songs, it was just a natural connection. I literally cried a few times because it took me back to, or made me remember things that I went through in my life, and I was just able to she just connected with me.
Yeah,
I
identified with a lot of points in that video, especially as far as Black womanhood, sisterhood, camaraderie, and even, I think it's a fair statement to even say, even if you have not been through a Lemonade type relationship, we've all had friendships that were close to living, where you have to go through the whole forgiveness and redemption and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So aside from that, you did your Lemonade, because we know that Beyonce did hers over time. At least I remember I talked to you all about this on Twitter. I went to one of Solange's parties. The next week Beyonce was in New Orleans for a week. I knew this was back in December, but Michellé in particular did hers in 16 hours. So how did that come to be? And was it grueling or was it a breeze?
Well, let's say that the whole process was kind of sped up because we had to get it out. We had to get it done. And luckily for me, I had already made most of the outfits because I performed them live.
Yes. This girl has mannequins in her house. I went to her house in June to get something from her for the Pride festivities.
Pride, yep.
And this girl has, like, literally, your living room is like a work room. Like, it's still a living room.
Yeah,
it's very elegant, darling. But it's mannequins and pins and stuff everywhere.
And sewing machines and paint and everything. Exactly. Everything you could think of to create.
So you already have the costumes.
Okay, so then we had to shoot it. We had to get it done, period, you know. And so we figured it would be a day. Also because of budgeting, too. You know what I mean? It was literally coming out of my pocket. So we just decided to like go full throttle. And what I admire about Beyonce is her work ethic. And she pushes herself. All do. Yeah, and I'm like, if she could do it, I could do it. You know what I mean? And like that's what I admire about her more than anything. You know what I mean? So I just had to get it done, and that's why it got done.
And there is something to be said about Beyonce's work ethic, because I don't know if you've seen like the mugs or memes that are like, you have just as much hours in a day as Beyonce.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's like this meme that someone created from like Kourtney Kardashian crying, like, and they said like, me at work right now, but Beyonce told me to work hard and grind till I own it. Like, oh, I'm sucking it up. Like, I don't want to be here, but
you gotta suck it up and do it. That's it.
So what is your favorite track from Lemonade?
My favorite, I don't know if I have a favorite track.
Okay, what's your favorite track this week?
Okay, this week, okay, let's see. I would have to say, I would say Love Drought. I'm just there right now.
That's a good one. I wish she had a bridge for that though. It kills me that it's first verse, chorus, second verse, chorus,
done.
Fade out.
Yeah, that's it. Like, yeah, I feel the same way. I definitely feel the same way, but it's...
no, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I'm just connected with it, like regardless. And I feel like the verses were pretty long though.
Yeah, they were.
So it gives you a little bit more. Yeah, it gives you a little bit more to like grab on to. You know what I mean?
I felt that way with when I first saw Lemonade. Hold Up and Don't Hurt Yourself. I was like, yes, that's me. That's me all day.
Strong black woman.
But today, one of my favorite songs, and I wish it was longer, just like Love Drought, is Pray You Catch Me. I cannot get enough of that song.
Really?
It's so pretty. The piano chords, the way her voice floats like silk over it. If you all have not heard Pray You Catch Me and Love Drought.
I mean, if you haven't heard Lemonade, then it's a problem.
You would be surprised.
Get up, honey.
Be surprised. So you have so much momentum behind this video. Like, I saw this video on Gossip, TMZ, The Shade Room. Shout out to all the roommates. So where do you see yourself going in like a year? Because you've been performing for a while. You have a dance background, right?
Yes, absolutely. I've been dancing since I was 8, performing since I was 16. And it's just what I love more than anything, you know, just the expression and creativity. I feel like it allows me to use all my gifts, you know, because I get bored if I'm just doing one thing. But a year from now, I would be touring the world, performing.
Nice.
That's what I'll be doing.
Y'all heard that?
Absolutely.
She claimed that right here on the BHL
You
set
heard it first.
in the studio. So there is a conversation going on in the LGBT community, particularly the T community. You know, we are both trans women of the trans experience of color, and there is this divide as far as trans women who do performance art and drag queens. So if you don't mind kind of like unpacking and letting the people out there watch, because I know a lot of people watching are probably confused because you do performance art, and we know that drag queens are female impersonators, but you are all woman. So if you don't mind kind of like breaking down maybe like what the difference is, or...
I would say that we're more like showgirls.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's a bit of, it's like the sexy, it's the fun, flirty, and like, not to say that drag queens aren't.
Yes.
But it's just a different realm, you know what I mean? Because they could take it off and put it on, but being that we are who we are, we like embody this certain like goddess, you know, and that's what comes across.
Call me Athena.
Yes.
Aphrodite. Yes, goddess. Yeah, that's a good, I felt compelled to ask you that because it is an ongoing, and I have, you know, cis girlfriends. Cis is short for cisgender. But I have cis girlfriends who have asked me that question, and I always don't. Well, at first, I always did not have the language to really answer it because I used to do some performance, not necessarily perform, but I did my little thing.
But I think it's really important, especially in the hetero world or
the cis,
that they understand that there is a difference between a trans woman and a drag queen, you know, and especially on stage too, and just in life, because I think when people think of trans, they see drag queen because of like RuPaul's Drag Race,
right?
So they think
like,
it's just
he's so pretty.
Yeah,
on
like
the misgendering, you know, he's so pretty type thing.
Let's not even get to that part. Let's not.
Yeah, that'll be a whole. That's gonna be the after show.
Girl, very that.
So you are originally from Oakland.
Yes.
But
shout out to the Bay.
In my research, I've seen you branded as from LA.
Yes.
So how did that even happen?
Well,
because I met you here in LA.
Yeah, and because like okay, so being from Oakland, I literally moved here 3 days after I graduated, and I was really heavy into the ballroom scene.
Okay.
And
because you're Saint Laurent.
Yes, I am the overall mother of Saint Laurent, darling.
Internationally recognized.
Of course.
Yes.
So I started walking balls, and it was just...
And for people who don't know what balls are, they have a good documentary on, you can Google this stuff, but there's a good documentary called Paris is Burning, available on Netflix, and that shows you the birth of all of the shade and Reed and all that stuff that you all have been appropriating from Nene and Tamar.
Came from there,
It came from the doc, and it's available on, and Octavia St. Laurent.
Exactly.
So Michellé's predecessor, so to speak, is featured and highlighted on this documentary. So go ahead. So you come from that scene.
Yeah, exactly. And so once my name I started to build my name and like slay these balls, the commentator knew that I lived in LA. So, and it was like a certain play on words, Michellé from LA.
Okay.
So then it just took
it has
off
a better
from
ring
there.
to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you could have said Michellé from the Bay. He could have said that, right? Say Michellé from Oakland. He could have said Michellé from the Bay.
Yeah. So that's how it took its form, and I just kind of just went with it. But now that I have more of a voice and I'm actually on a mic and saying things, then I'm definitely shouting out like where I'm from, you know what I mean? Or even in interviews, like in the past, I've always gave recognition to my hometown. Absolutely.
So I want to jump back to Lemonade really fast, your rendition. Something that struck me, because it would have been so predictable, and I saw you in the Get Up months ago, but it would have been so predictable for you to have formation included in there. So one of my questions that slipped my mind, but I just was reminded of, is what made you pick Sorry, Freedom, 6-inch, and Hold Up for your project? Because you could have done Love Drought. I saw you with Love Drought on the Beach on her Instagram. It's a good video too. So what made you, out of all of those songs, because it's a masterpiece, what made you pick those for?
Well, those songs really speak to me. I mean, they just, the whole album, but those particular songs speak to me, and I was moved when I seen the visuals, when I watched it, and just I just had to do those songs. You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely.
So you didn't feel pressure to do a formation?
Absolutely not, because I did formation at Pride, and you
did it. I saw you in the Get Up from the video with the double braids.
Yeah,
and
so
the burgundy
I've literally
leotard.
Performed formation a few times, and two.
But you could have recycled those costumes for your video.
Yeah, but I wasn't feeling that because I had
me in the corner.
I had a whole idea of formation, and if I couldn't do it the way that I wanted to, I didn't want to touch it. You know what I mean?
That.
Yeah, so that was just what it is, and who knows? There might be more to come.
So I've seen you featured on a lot of different things. Michellé is also a part of a performance trio. You all started out as a quartet, but now you're down to 3, right?
Yes. It definitely has been like Survivor, girl.
But it's called The Cunts. And you all perform around West Hollywood. And it's you, Gia, and...
Sasha Colby.
Sasha, right. She just had a birthday. I don't know her, but I remember seeing her on you and Gia's
Yeah, she just had a birthday. Happy birthday to my Leo sis.
So, and then Michellé was also featured on this most recent season of Oxygen's Prancing Elites project. You know, with maybe Jason and Bucky. You know, the guys from Alabama. Hey Yuriel, hey Tim. Those I like, and Adrian. As they say. So, do you have any pre-show rituals?
Yes. Well, it depends. They vary.
Depending on like venue and crowd.
Depending on the song.
Okay.
And if anybody has gotten ready with me, then they know like the song is on repeat, and I'm like starting to like warm up, and like if it's like I literally just talked about this too. It's like if it's like an empowering song, then I'm kind of like rocky, like in the mode, or if it's like something that like I'm really touched by, and I'm like supposed to be sad, or in love.
Or Play You Catch Me.
Yeah, then I just start thinking about like things that has happened in the past, so I could really capture that emotion on stage
and get out there and slay it. And you have your own wind machines, right?
Absolutely. I carry them in my trunk everywhere I go, girl.
Because you never know when it may strike.
You never know. And I don't want to leave them at home, honey, because what is a performance without it?
Exactly. I've seen you, I think the first time that I saw you was 2014, and you did a video that ended up on this is before we even met, and you don't even know this story, but you did a video that went viral, and it was on my social media. It landed like, and I was like, who is this girl? And you were like sitting on the floor, and you had the wind machines going, and the hair was going off.
Yes.
And I can't remember what song
that was.
It was.
Feeling myself. I'm feeling myself.
And I was at my computer and my laptop like, who is this? So I immediately went to add as friend, and surprisingly, you didn't have, you know how some people, they're like, oh, this person has hit their limit, you can follow them, but you approved me. But I didn't put two and two together from when I met, because I first met you February 2015 for Kiss and Tell. It was the first Kiss and Tell, but I didn't put two and two together like, oh, that's the same girl type thing.
Yeah, that was crazy. I just remember like I had my new hair, and I had already performed.
You're a chameleon.
Yeah, I guess. I like to switch it up. I like to switch it up, you know?
Like a totally different person.
Yeah. I was like, should I come in looking like Beyonce today, or should I just look like Michellé, or what everybody's been calling me, Jocelyn, lately with this short hair.
Yes.
But I was channeling my inner Tony.
Okay.
That's how I was feeling when
Vintage
I like
Tony.
Yes.
But you know people's reference point now that Jocelyn. No one's thinking Love Should Have Brought You Home last night.
Well, they should
They're
be.
thinking Stevie.
You should have let me see me.
Okay. So that to me is a fascinating component as far as how you're able to do everything that you do and still remain so humble, because I did not know what to expect, honestly. If we're being honest, I didn't know what to expect upon meeting you, because you know how the girls are.
I know exactly how the girls are, but that's why I really make a conscious decision to be open and to be friendly and to reach out. You know what I mean? Because even when I was first trying to transition or starting my transition, you know, I was looking out for help, and it was like so hard. You know what I mean?
Same here. I really admire girls who have like that. I'm using air quotes to be PC, but that right role model, because I didn't have that either. I mean, aside from women like Janet Mock and Angelica Ross, but they weren't. And Angelica was more so hands-on because we both were in Chicago. Janet, but I was still able to talk to her, but I didn't have any, like, I didn't have anybody take me immediately under their
exactly.
wing.
And, like come on, this is what you do. This is how you do it.
Girl, don't do that.
Actually, yes, and it was actually a guy who did it for me. You know what I mean? So, but...
Which you kind of have to watch that, I find, because a lot of gay men try to police trans women's femininity, and they want you to be Barbie 24/7, and you know, this isn't a generalization. I'm just saying from observation.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
A lot, and then they'll turn around and read you down in a minute. And
girl, no, we're not gonna go there right now. Let's keep it going. What's the next question, girl? Because I can't.
So what? Because
that's been a thing on Facebook. Like,
really?
But girl, come on. What are some?
Because I know. Okay, so I'll ask you this before I ask my next question, because I already had it queued up. How do you deal with some of the backlash and some of the negative comments? Because I know for myself, when your video, for example, hit the shade room, I did go look at the comments to see what people were saying because I consider this girl a friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not about to sit up here and argue with trolls. I'm not that girl. And I don't have that much energy or time in the day.
Girl.
But I saw it was like half and half to me. Some people were like, she slayed it. Yes, baby. Da, 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 da. And then people, of course, well, you all know how. Y'all know how to share.
Honey, yeah, it was a lot. But, you know, I read the comments, but it doesn't faze me at the end of the day because I know who I am.
Did anybody try to like personally attack you, like slide in your inbox?
No, what's crazy is that anybody that hit me up was completely supportive and completely sweet, and like I haven't got any hate mail.
That's good.
They just keep it in the comments, which I'm fine. Keep it away from me. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like I exude that energy, so it doesn't come directly to me. You get what I'm saying? It's like,
yes,
cut it.
Yeah,
you need to cut it. Hey.
Do you prefer performing? Because I've seen you do "Bitch Better Have My Money" by Rihanna, sickening, and I've seen you do a lot of Beyonce stuff. Who do you prefer?
Well,
to perform as.
To perform, I mean, they're two completely different girls.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So like, when I want to feel like that bad, like you know, swag, then of course I'll go to Rihanna. But if I want to put on like a show, then Beyonce
is
would
essentially the showgirl prototype.
Exactly.
Right
now. So that's who I would go to. So I don't prefer one over the other because they're both so talented in their own right. So it's just like, what am I feeling? What's inspiring me as an artist right now? And what do I feel like creating at that point?
Do you ever think you'll stop performing?
I mean, once I get old,
you're so damn good at it.
Once I get old, yeah, and then I'll start to like bring up other girls. I'll be the mother, and I'll probably start my own.
And usher your little Chloe and Halle on
exactly. right. And I'll like have some type of show where I have all the girls perform. Yeah, maybe I don't know.
That would be good. So what are some challenges that you face, maybe on or off stage, as far as people's expectations of you?
Well, I feel what's crazy is that I feel like my expectations are higher for myself than other people.
Same here.
I am my worst critic. I'm so hard on myself. But I don't let it get me down either. You know what I mean? I keep on pushing, and I feel like that's what keeps me pushing. So I wouldn't say that I let other people's expectation bother me because I know as long as I live up to who I truly am, then other people will be satisfied too. So,
all right now, before we wrap up, I think I have like 2 more questions.
Okay.
So
Wait,
the first,
that went quick.
I know. Well, time is flying. So, are you dating right now? This is something that we always talk about. Let me tell them before we hop into this. This is something that and I probably should have submitted to my producer the photos that we have from like in the past, over the past year. But this is something that we have talked about in extensive. And because Marissa just told me we have 20 good minutes left, we can talk about it here.
Thank you. James now, Shar.
Oh, hi, James.
Hi.
So, dating.
Okay.
We always have this I don't want it to be stale. Keep it fresh, sis. Are you dating? Do you have a man?
I don't have a man. No. One particular, I don't. I am playing the field. I definitely have opportunities, or a few to pick from. Yes, I have choices, which is great for me. That's what I mean? Because I was in a relationship for the longest, and now
because you were engaged.
Yeah, I was engaged.
I don't know if you want to share this story on here, but
I mean, well, that's the whole thing about it. It's like I had to take a chance to get to know myself before I can absolutely put something into someone else. And what I'm understanding...
That happened to LaToya Luckett and Rob Hill, by the way. They ended their engagement because of that. But go ahead. I just want to... It's hard to find somebody when you are career-driven and goal-oriented that's going to support that 100% because they be like, you ain't got no time for me. Like, men are very freaking needy, girl. And so I can't. You're preaching to the choir.
Girl, I can't.
Being the girl that I am myself. work 24/7 for me. For me, it's a good distraction though.
Well,
but I'm not dating anyone right now.
I mean, I'm like I said, I'm open to possibilities.
What has been your experience? Because we've often talked about being trans women. We are heterosexual trans women. So what has been your experience if you've ever done any type of like dating app? Because I talk about this on Kiss and Tell the podcast all the time.
Well,
I don't do any, but I have in the past.
And I have friends who have, but I don't, like the Tinder and
Soul Swipe.
Yeah, like I don't know, just not into it. Like I'd much rather just, you know what, connect on a personal level.
Yes, I have found that I just don't have the patience for it. I've tried different routes as far as letting people know what time it is in my like bio, my little short paragraph, or telling them at my own discretion, and I always get the same result, and it is I do not have time for it, and I never last. Like when I've been on dating apps, literally it ranges from, okay, I was on for a day, delete. I think the longest I was on one was like a week and a half.
I would imagine it would just be stressful as hell because, first of all, people don't even read, period. Everybody's in videos. So even if you tell your
see a cute woman.
Yeah. Then it's like, then you have to go through this and then like,
you have to hold their hand.
Yeah. And then I find that even with meeting guys in person, you know what I mean? They come up to you just when I was walking in, girl. And he comes up to me, he's like, you look like Jocelyn. And I was like, oh, I guess that's a compliment. And he's like, can I get your number? I'm like, no, I have a boyfriend. Like, because clearly he didn't know. You know what I mean?
And or he might. He might have.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did. But I don't know. I like, you know what? Sometimes I really assume that. Yeah. Like, they know. But 9 times out of 10, they don't. I've been out on dates with guys, and I thought they knew.
Here.
And like I just knew they knew. You had to know. You know what I mean? And they didn't know. And when I told them,
and that's like, a very risky game.
It is, but I don't feel like I'm the most passable girl.
I feel like we all have every woman that I've talked to, whether you be cisgender or transgender, has some level of body dysphoria or dysmorphia. Is it? I think it's dysmorphia, where we don't feel our best. Yeah. And so a lot of the times when people are like amazed at the fact that I'm a trans woman, I'm like, really?
Really? Yeah,
like, really? I'm not walking around here like, oh, I'm just so passable, stick me. I mean, I'm still 5'9", flat foot, a big old black girl with a blonde weave down it, which means nothing.
Girl, no, because you look great. Stop it.
Thank you.
Oh.
Shut up. Same to you. So yeah, that's been me. And I went on a date with this guy who told me he had slid in my Instagram DMs, and this is when I was doing Shar Jossell, my weekly pop culture roundup, and I would address a lot of trans issues in those videos, especially in like the Ask Shar. And he told me that he would write me every week like, I just saw your video, it was banging. No, you watched the teaser, the 15-second teaser. This was before Instagram had a minute videos. The 15-second teaser, and he would lie to me and tell me that he saw the whole thing. So when we're on the date and he's driving me back to my home, because I have a home that's not across the street and around the corner from my home.
Exactly.
And he asked me, did I have any children?
That always kills me, and that's at that point.
So
that's
you
how
didn't watch my video.
Yes, you didn't. Goddamn it! But that's
and
exactly how you know they don't know.
And all that stuff. The food was good. The company was good.
The
conversation was
ultimate letdown, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like when you go into the situation and you're like, oh yeah, he's cool, he knows, whatever, and then you start to really like have a really great time, and then you tell them, and then they freak out. First of all, it's like.
Or they hypersexualize your experience.
Yeah.
They don't look at you as a person anymore. They look at you as just a sex object.
Exactly. It's not fun. But I was going to say that they get all in their heads about the whole situation, and they're like, well, I can't be seen out with you in public and things like that.
Because now all of a sudden it's like they're looking for things.
Yeah, but we were just out, sweetheart.
Right.
Like, and we were fine. Like, so and you get really it together.
You really have to be careful with things like that, especially as trans women of color. You know, I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to talk about the murder rate. There's a staggering rate. And I saw a lot of this, you know, not to get too political, but I saw a lot of this surrounding Alton Sterling and Philando Castile. People in the LGBT community in particular were saying like, "Oh, you want me to march for him? Would he have marched for me?
Yeah.
Would he have would he have said anything about does my trans life matter or does my gay life matter or whatever?" But statistically, what I typically see is when a trans woman is unfortunately murdered, it's only trans women talking about it.
Yeah.
The LGB community ain't even talking about it unless it's something horrendous. But I say all that to say, to loop to my initial point, why we have to be so careful is a lot of the times it's like the lovers that are doing the killing.
Yeah, no,
it's
absolutely.
not a stranger. It's not someone. It's someone who you've been with or who's mad at, for a myriad of reasons. He could have just went. I was reading a story about a guy who was fine dating this trans woman. He went to church and something happened at church where somebody said something, and then when he went home, he
just clicked out.
Mm-hmm.
It's
like
so
his mind
sad.
snapped.
Well, so you haven't asked me about the Glasswing Group, and so I want to bring that up. I want to bring that up.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, and it's to just empower trans women, first of all. Empowerment and
wait, is Glasswing Group your group?
Yes, it's my group.
You didn't tell me that.
The
and I didn't know
nonprofit.
that in my research.
Yes, it's the nonprofit.
I thought that was some production company.
Remember
you hired.
we had this conversation? No.
Yeah, but you didn't give me a name.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
think that your nonprofit had even come to fruition. I thought when we talked about this, it was just an idea.
Yes, no. And our first meeting is actually stamped. It's going to be on August 7th.
Okay,
so if you're
right
a
before
trans
your
woman,
birthday.
Yeah, right before my birthday. If you're a trans woman and you're in the LA area, come out to the LGBT Center
in
on
Hollywood.
August 7th. Yeah, in Hollywood.
So tell us what Glasswing is.
Okay, so yeah, Glasswing.
How did you get the name?
Okay, so Glasswing, it's a space where trans women can just come and have conversations like this, just be completely open and just have a sense of community because we don't have that. And it's just to empower, to put knowledge into, the women's heads and like just make them feel comfortable in their skin.
So it's like a reaffirming empowerment.
Yes, beauty, everything. We're going to be doing, yes, exactly.
We're going to teach you how to put on lashes and how to blend that makeup to match that neck,
make
darling.
wigs and do whatever.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And just to get
That's nice.
some history behind transgender.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera and Stonewall
but even
and all that
beyond
stuff.
that though, like we were in this world and very relevant in the Native American culture before the settlers came over here. Yeah, exactly.
And the Yoruba and African, now that I do know.
In India, and yes, we've been around.
Hawaiian,
and
they called it like third gender or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and it's two-spirited from Native Americans. Yeah, and it's like we've been around.
Yeah.
And in fact, we were looked to as like perfection because we had the perfect blend of both. So I think people need to understand that. And I feel like us as trans women, we need to educate people and we need to educate ourselves on it. Yes. So then we are capable
Get
of educating.
girls.
Absolutely, girls.
That's basically what Michellé is saying. Get information.
So how I got the name was I was looking up just exotic insects, creatures, whatever. And so I'm thinking like, I looked up butterflies.
Okay.
And I'm like, exotic butterflies. And then I see this beautiful glasswing butterfly. And it's a butterfly that's completely transparent. And it's just gorgeous. It's like if the butterfly was in front of this screen, you can still see the BHL.
Wow.
It's so gorgeous. Look it up. Google it. It's really, really
Glasswing
dope.
butterfly. And that could work as a double meaning because, of course, we know that caterpillars have to transition into butterflies.
Exactly.
So,
You're getting it.
That works. That works. And then the group, you're allowed to be transparent because I really like the LGBT Center. I know that the Freaky Boys and myself have donated in the past a lot of clothing and things like that. So I'm always looking to help the next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. We have to pass it on.
Yeah.
We got to pass it on. And I live in an area where there's so many trans women and trans women of color. And it's unfortunate because they're living out on the street and, doing things that they probably don't want to do. And like, I just see them and I'm just like, what can I do to like give back or like help out? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I want to see all of us like winning at the end of the day. So I'm like, okay, so this is
you gotta
what it
get
is.
information to win.
That's it, baby.
And you can't win when you play dirty.
Oh,
that's what Nene Leakes said.
Speak, silent speak.
As we wind everything down, I want to play, James, if you could fire up some of the video.
I started from the beginning.
This is how it opens up. Visually, this is just stunning, Michellé. Like, were you cold right there?
Yeah, I was cold actually. That water was something else, and even trying to get on that rock was.
Oh, I imagine. That's a liability.
Yeah, no, seriously, I almost slipped.
Because all that algae.
And then coming out the water dry.
Yeah. That looked like Survivor, because Beyonce was wearing yellow in Survivor at the beginning when they washed on shore. Kelly was in red, Michelle was in orange, and Beyonce was in yellow, crawling on the sand.
Absolutely.
Now, if you want to redo that one, let me know.
Okay, no, like literally Adisa, the director and producer, my co-director and producer, she is just amazing, like absolutely amazing to come up with this. Like,
so she was like director of photography and everything too, right?
Yeah,
because the glamour shots that she has of you are beautiful.
I mean, no, Q is actually the videographer, and he's just amazing. Like,
I saw Gia's cameo handing you the bat.
Didn't she slay? She's so dramatic. I love it. Like,
now that Herbert's lemonade that you took at the end, that's when they pass them out for free, right? Or did you pay for that?
Yeah, they passed it out for free. It just so happened to work out like that. I was like, okay, this is cute. This is cute.
See, you look stunning there.
It's like is that my favorite shot?
Well, Michellé, I want to thank you for joining us today. Well, joining me today. Give the people your social media. Let us know where we can find you.
Yes, I am MISS_SHALAE across all social media platforms.
And I don't know why they have Michellé Music. I don't know why you all did that. I didn't give you that.
No, MISS_SHALAE. Make sure you go watch the video if you have not seen it. It is on Facebook because of licensing issues.
Copyright.
Yes, exactly.
Beyonce love us, but she don't play with her copyright.
She do not play those games. I put it on YouTube and they muted it as soon as it went up, girl.
Well, people could watch it visually.
Yeah,
that's
visually.
the whole point of it anyway.
But you have to go to Facebook and check it out.
Facebook and check it out. You all got that. Facebook, Miss Michellé, that's MISSHALAE. And of course, you all know that you can find me across the board at Shar Says So, including SharSaysSo.com. And that, when I say across the board, I mean Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff.
Same.
I want to thank you all for joining me and my sis for this special episode of Black Hollywood Live Conversations. And I will see you next time.
Mwah.
Tryna rain on the thunder. Tell the storm I'm new. I'm a wild, come a march on the regular.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals. From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African-American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.